You have insinuated that it's not just the drop in oil price that is causing the crisis, and we were engaged in a very public argument with the former finance minister, as you just alluded to. Dr. Konjo-Iweala once told me that Nigeria doesn't have money saved up for the rainy day because the governors, including your good self, pressured her into sharing money from the excess crude account.
That is 1/4 of the truth. What you should have asked her is that if we assume that the federal government is a responsible manager who believes in the rainy day, under Konjo-Iweala, and you have the Adams and 35 others who are reckless, you should have asked her, where is the federal savings for the rainy day? If the state spend their own 26%, because all the 36 states plus Abuja, from the federal capital territory, between the 37 of us, we share 26%. For every 100 naira Nigeria earn, state governors, 36, shared 26 naira. 52.6 goes to the federal government, plus ecology and other deduction. This is to say nothing about other organizations whose funds ought to flow directly into the federation account, and they never flow there. This will include the Nigeria Port Authority. It includes various institutions in the health sector, maritime sector, NMPC, various agencies that are supposed to, or the entire accruals from the gas sector, all of this ought to flow into the federation account. And they never got there. So if Dr. Konjo-Iweala says, oh, we wanted to save for the rainy day, the governor didn't allow us, okay. The governor have control over their share, which is 26%. Mr. Federal Government has complete control over 52.6%. Where is Konjo-Iweala's savings of federal portion? If he can show you where she saved it, then you can proceed to say that, oh, yes, she was right. However, my point has been, and that's why I felt obliged to write before she left office, so that she will be provoked to publishing the full pictures. For example, you know, Nigeria say, under the minister, they used to publish what is distributed to states, local government, and federal.
Which she did?
Yeah, which she did. Very good. But how about what is not published? What is not published is much more than what was published. Because in those publications, she simply refused to disclose total earning less what was distributed. So for me, that is the issue. She disclosed a little in relation to what she is obliged to disclose in law, in practice by common sense, and as a matter of honor. The full logic of transparency is that you disclose the whole, not the part. What was not disclosed is the problem. Now, if you are there, ask her, by the time you assume office in 2011, how much was in the excess crude account? Thereafter, disclose month by month what accrues to the excess crude account. Also disclose month by month what you took from excess crude account by way of distribution to states. Because I can bring my own figures. From the Ministry of Finance and through our banks, we can extract whatever came to Edo State during the period of 4 years from excess crude. Then you look at what went to all the other 36 states plus FCT, and the federal portion of the same amount. Because the mistake most analysts make and commentators is that they talk about states.
But would you say that the states are completely blameless?
I'm saying she did this save for the federal government for the rainy day, even while we have dried, robust harvest, under her watch, federal government was borrowing both at home and abroad to meet basic things like payment of salaries. I am not making an excuse for state. All I'm simply saying is that if all the money, 2.4, 2.6 million barrels per day, which Nigeria produce and export, rather, which Nigeria produce and sell, if all of this flows to the federation account, and it is distributed based on the even current revenue allocation formula, both the federal government and the state will not be in this mess.
How easy is it for agriculture to replace oil as the mainstay of the Nigerian economy?
I think for this government, it has to take very, very bold steps. If you ask me, I think President Buhari should immediately prohibit, and I will use the word ruthlessly, enforce the prohibition. Because if you cannot enforce, don't prohibit. Prohibit importation of rice and of any other food that we can grow in Nigeria. The first thing that will happen is that prices will shoot up. Price is a legitimate incentive for rational economic animals to discover opportunities and to seek to profit from those opportunities by investing in those areas. When that happens, you will not need sermonizing to people to return to farm. There's huge potential. We can achieve more, but we have to have a coherent public policy that is predictable, that will not change over the next several years, to enable people who want to make investment in that area to be able to do so and to make profit. When they start to make money, more people will go to agriculture. The same thing for textiles.
You once worked in the textile industry, and Nigeria's textile market was once the third largest in Africa, but it's virtually defunct now. You know, I specifically want to talk about that because of your history. How can we have a rebound in that sector?
I don't think you can get the textile industries back until you have found solution to power supply. You cannot run a textile plant with heavy-duty machineries with generators. To run them with generators and to buy diesel at 160 naira or $1 a liter to fire your generator, there is no way you can compete. So until you solve the problem of power supply, you cannot revive the textile industry. If you don't deal with power supply, any other incentive you provide cannot compensate for the deficit arising from cost of power supply. When I was working in the textile industry, as a union man, it was my task to try to understand the cost structure of an enterprise to form a basis for my demand for wage increase or for a higher share of our surplus value. By 1974, 72, wage share of the average textile price that is labor intensive was about between 28 and 32% of overall cost of production. Power accounted for less than 10%. Then you provide for bank interest, other charges, etc., to arrive at 100%. Even if you freeze wages or delete wages or Nigerian workers offer to work free, the huge cost of power, that is cost of diesel, cost of acquiring and maintaining generators, the loss you incur each time it goes off and come in, that occurs every other hour, you then find that you cannot compete with products from China, products from Bangladesh, products from other countries. And so there is no way you're going to be able to revive the textile industry without dealing with power supply in a manner that industries don't need to procure generators to run the factories.